Hey everyone, so today we're going to be delving into some of the key components of our immune system, right? And how they work together to protect us. Now, I know we've all seen firsthand, we're seeing so far, that the immune system can be quite overwhelming getting a decent grasp on it, because it's just such a diverse network of cells, molecules, and organs that it's easy to kind of get lost in the sauce, if you will. But here's the good news though. I'm going to make it a bit easier to understand by using a few key analogies to kind of make the content just a bit more digestible and manageable. So I've done quite a bit of reading on these components over the past few days, and I think I have a fairly decent grasp on each of them. So we're going to talk about the third line of defense, neutrophils, basophils, the complement system, and cytokines. And I'll walk you through analogies that capture their unique roles. So we're going to try to keep things not only accurate, but fresh and engaging, and try to stay away from those mundane kind of cliche analogies that you'll see everywhere, like, that was mentioned in the instructions for the assignment here. So here we go. So we're going to kick things off with the third line of defense. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen any of those espionage movies or any of those spy movies where the common theme there is for one party to gather as much intelligence as they possibly can on their opposing party, and then with that intelligence they can carry out strategic, precise, and effective attacks on their enemies. Well, that's how I like to think about the third line of defense, or the adaptive immune system, like an elite spy network. Now, why, you might ask? Well, like I just mentioned, just like spy networks gather intel on specific enemies and develop strategies to neutralize threats, the adaptive immune system learns from pathogens that it's encountered before. So the memory cells, they act like detailed intelligence files, right? Which allows the immune system to mount faster and more effective responses if the threat ever appears again. And this precision and the ability to remember are what make the adaptive immune system so powerful. So next we have neutrophils, right? Which I like to think about neutrophils like an emergency cleanup crew. So picture some kind of chemical spill in the streets, and then after that you see those guys show up and they're in their hazmat suits, all the protective equipment and all that, and they're there pretty much right away to try to get that those chemicals cleaned up and prevent them from posing any further threats as soon as possible, right? Well, this is how I like to think about neutrophils, because they're the first responders in the immune system. When an infection or injury occurs, they rush to the site, clean up debris, and destroy pathogens through phagocytosis. So they're fast and they're efficient, and they're relentless. But just like a cleanup crew, their work is fairly short-lived. They're there to contain the situation quickly and then pretty much clear out. Now, basophils, on the other hand, I like to think of them like warning flares. So when a threat like an allergen or parasite is detected, the basophils, they release histamine and other chemicals to signal that help is needed at this location. This in turn causes inflammation, which brings more immune cells to that area. Just like an emergency flare signals backup to come to a specific location. So they may not handle the threat directly, but the signals they give off, which amplify the response, is critical for immune function. So that's my analogy for basophils. Now we're going to move on to the complement system. The complement system, it reminds me of a special operations military unit. Just that stealthiness about them, how they just kind of go in quietly patrolling, and they see a threat, they neutralize it, and they're in and out, and they mean business, right? So this is what I think about when I think about the complement system. So the proteins in the complement system, they just kind of circulate the blood, just kind of patrolling just to see if there's any pathogens present. And if they do get activated by the presence of a pathogen, they can directly destroy these pathogens by the formation of these membrane attack complexes. They can also opsonize invaders to make them more of a target for other immune cells and recruit other immune players to the site of the infection, right? Yeah, so just that stealthy, mission-focused, just no nonsense kind of approach is what I think of when I think the complement system. So their precision and that versatility, it makes them really very much indispensable to our immune function, right? So now, last but not least, we'll jump into cytokines and the analogy that I've come up with for them. So cytokines for me, they're kind of like a corporate messenger service, right? Follow me here. So just like how messengers in a company ensures that every department knows what's going on and what they're supposed to be doing, the cytokines, they coordinate the activities of the immune cells. They deliver signals that direct immune responses, recruit cells to infection sites, and even help to tone down the immune response once the threat is neutralized. So without cytokines, really, the immune system would kind of be directionless and just kind of all over the place. So we can thank those for the coordination within this complex network we call our immune system, similar to these big corporations, how communication is key to making sure that everything runs as smooth as butter, right? So there we have it for cytokines. So from the adaptive immune system's elite spies to the complement system's tactical military unit, each piece is pivotal to ensure that we're kept healthy. So these analogies have really helped me to understand the immune components and their functions a bit more clearly, and I hope they've done the same for you as well. So thank you very much for watching.